Hey, how do you connect with fandoms? Find out next. Up next on Geek Out SA. Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream. And welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Friday and we're having fun.
Awesome.
Good job, hun.
I forgot to mute my other computer.
Vincent only has like 67 computers running in here. So.
Just 67, that's okay. But welcome everyone. Thanks for checking us out. And yeah, today we're talking about how to connect with fandoms. I actually brought in Geeky Hoody.
Yay!
Hey guys.
So it's been a long time since we talked.
It has been. It has been.
I mean,
So,
we talk
yeah,
online every once in a while, but we haven't like seen each other face to face in a while.
I know it's been. Has it been since Game Expo? Here in the DFW area? No, not Game Expo. What was the table?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Vincent's
it's been a
table?
while.
Wow,
Yeah, it's
Table.
a long time.
That's
yeah,
a
so like
long
5
time.
years.
Yeah.
Well,
I know.
I think I saw you at like PAX South one time.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Yeah.
For very first back south,
Mhm.
we got to see one another then. But yeah, great to see you guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yay! It's nice that we can do this. So this is the first time we've really done this kind of because Hoody doesn't live here in San Antonio. He lives in the Dallas area. And
Yeah,
so it's
unfortunately, I do love San Antonio though. I lived there for over a year and a half before, and it's my second favorite city besides the Dallas area. So I
Nice.
love San Antonio.
So it's nice that this social distancing, in a way, has gotten us to try some new technologies,
Yeah,
to have some new
yeah.
guest options.
Yes, it is. It's so amazing to see all these communities come together. I've loved watching. I don't know if you've seen on the YouTube channel, the Good News Network, seeing all the great stuff that's coming together just in the community, just at large. But seeing our geek community come together as one, oh man, it just makes my heart just sing. It's so much fun. So
Yeah, and we're just having to do it in a different way, and there's just different things that you can do in order to do that. But there's a number of things that kind of get left. Like I was kind of thinking about it today since we were talking about this subject. Is like steampunk. Now,
Yeah.
how do you do steampunk? Because a lot of that is social interaction.
Like immersive, almost like
Like
a LARP
immersive,
type,
yeah.
Right.
Right. And the only way that you could do any of that is if you set it up like around yourself. If you get something like that, and then once again, you could even connect it through like a Zoom or something like that,
That's
and
what
have
I was
Yeah.
thinking.
you could do the backgrounds and do some little role play, with your like that. So the technology has made us be able to think differently. And I don't see this really going away too much, because once we're here, we need to just keep on moving forward. And I think that with the new gaming industry, especially tabletop gaming industry, I think that Roll20, I heard, was having issues keeping up with the numbers of people wanting to play on. And that's good. And these are connecting people. I play in a Discord game with people I am nowhere near, people from overseas. So it's definitely connecting us in different ways.
Well, and I think one of the nice things about this too is it gives us a way to look at this from the perspective of people who might be afraid to get out there, who might be a little more nervous, because you can get on these Zoom meetings and stuff and you don't have to necessarily put your face. You can just put up a picture, an image, and so you can still be interacting with other people that enjoy the same fandom that you do. But if you're shy, or if you have any kinds of like fears or phobias of being around people, you can actually be more included now than you ever could before when we were all getting together physically in a place. Right.
I totally agree.
Because it's really different, and who kind of knows what's going to happen after this with like comic conventions and anime conventions and horror convention and any convention that's out there. It's changed. This has really changed it.
Yeah. A lot of the bigger conventions recently have done a lot of online conventions, and the big one like Gary Con had did all of it virtually. Some of the gaming industry conventions. Now we don't know how Gen Con's going to do between now and then. I know that they haven't planned to cancel or anything like that, but it's they're having to adapt, and like you said, Colleen, is that people that are shy and stuff like these people have like they've told me that just playing games online that this has brought them out of their shell because they can talk and they don't have to touch someone. They can kind of overcome, and they don't even have to use they can use just typing or just talking on a voice chat on Discord or something like that. So
well, and for me as a woman, this becomes something where sometimes in fandom there are negatives to being a woman, right? And there are people who kind of go at you because you're a woman and so you can't be a true fan or whatever. So this can give you an anonymity almost to where you can become part of these fandoms that you enjoy and not necessarily get that negative vibe from it because you can just go in as a no-name, nobody and enjoy the fandom without having that repercussion of, a stereotype of something.
Right, and all the gatekeepers trying to keep you out because you're a woman and you don't know about these manly, geeky things.
Right, exactly.
When they try to be tested. But we have a bunch of people like making comments right now. Pop Culture Geekery says, "Ola, congrats again on the 1,000+ subscribers." Thanks,
Yay!
Joe. Thanks.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Fulgore says, "Hi guys. There's more to come with Fulgore.
Fulgore is going to be stepping it up for us. I saw it, Fulgore, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
You did a really, really great job, so can't wait.
So something's happening tomorrow.
Something secret.
At noon. You might want to check it out.
Yeah.
And also Steve Cuneo says, "Hey guys, hey, how's it going, Steve?"
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve, how's it going? Cool.
Yeah, thanks, Joe, for bringing that up. We're excited to give away the lightsaber. We've gotten a lot of really good comments. People have told us just how wrong Stuart really is. And it's not a back scratcher. And it's been really nice to see. It's been really cool to see some of the comments from people over in the European Union. I think sometimes as Americans, we take for granted how accessible things are to us or what we can afford. And so a lot of them have been talking about how, like, there's no way they could get a lightsaber of this quality where they are or in a price range that they could afford.
I think we even got one from New Zealand. Yeah. Which is kind of cool. So we didn't get one from Australia, though.
It's really great to think about.
We should have gotten one for you. Oh, it's a back scratcher.
I was like,
he can't win.
I'll make sure of it.
Make one of your Australian friends.
You'll be flooded now.
But it's nice that since we're talking about this with Hoodie today about bringing these fandoms together, I think I forget how close we all actually can be with technology now, with YouTube, with Zoom, with Discord, with Roll20, with that Steam game for tabletop, bringing people together. So it's interesting to think of how far out you can reach with your fandom and who you might be able to pick up who really enjoys it the way you do.
Yeah, and that's the great thing that the geek thing beforehand, is just a select people when we were growing up, but now it's worldwide, and you're able to connect with. I had a game playing with somebody in the UK, and playing with. As a matter of fact, I have a game that I play in that I have someone from Sweden, I have someone from Germany, I have New York, and a couple from Texas, and it's just crazy to be able. I would have never been able to have that connection without this actually happening. So,
like, what time do you run these games with these people? Because it's completely different time zone.
Yeah, well, what happens, we play at 2 o'clock on Tuesdays, and that's about, like, that's late night for them, but it's midday for the people that are here. So we just kind of jump in on a midday game, and then they're like, by the time it turns like 5 o'clock, like, oh, guys, we got to be done. We got to, it's 1 o'clock in the morning here, But it's great to hear about, their lives and stuff like that. Oh, when you come to, you need to come to Sweden and see how, it is here and things like that. So it's really, I get to explore the world through, my gaming and through the geeks that I connect with.
Mm-hmm.
So
you were saying earlier, Hoodie, about not having those gatekeepers. For people that are kind of new to geeky stuff, we're getting a lot of new subscribers and some people watching. We all know what a gatekeeper is, right? But can you kind of talk to people about what that means to be a gatekeeper, and then we all kind of chime in on how that has kind of a negative impact in our fandoms?
Right. Well, gatekeepers are people that have been in a hobby, whether geekdom, for quite a while, and they think it's just simply for them because they've been there from the beginning. And I run into it a lot from the Dungeons and Dragons crowd, and because they think, well, I've been playing since the first white box, and these new kids coming in, they think they, know about Dungeons and Dragons. They don't know crap, and we had the hard times, and it just like, let people play. They don't want to just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy, and they're the ones that take the fun out of the, the geeky things we enjoy. And so I understand people liking what they like and they want to keep it for themselves, but that's so selfish. Don't you want the next generation to carry on your hobby?
No, I don't see wanting to make somebody feel bad about wanting to be part of the hobby.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that we started this show, is in order to get it out there. And there's tons of other fandoms out there that we dabble in just because we like a lot of the fandom that's out there, from anime to video gaming to tabletop games to sci-fi. I mean, if it's geeky, we're all about it.
Yeah, well, we love Star Wars, and I think Star Wars has some of the worst gatekeepers of all of the fandoms.
They do. That is true, especially with all the new movies. By the way, for people that don't, May 4th, Disney Plus is releasing all 9 movies. So if you wanted to have a marathon of Star Wars, you have all 9 there to go through.
We just did that, actually.
Yeah.
We already finished ours.
Okay.
Well, we haven't seen it, but there's an episode of Clone Wars that came out today. And then they're going to do another one on May the 4th. That's the last one. I think it's the last one. Because after that, I'm actually going to be on Pop Culture Geekery talking about the Clone Wars.
Love
I've not
that.
watched any of those. My son, Tristan, he's all about the Clone Wars, and I've not watched any of them.
They're
oh
really
my God,
good.
you have to watch them. They are so good.
And
The
then
animation's good. The writing's good. From the very beginning to the season it's now.
There's a couple of episodes that are kind of
Well, everything has because you've got to build.
but the
story
majority of
sometimes,
them are really, really good.
Yeah, and
Now, have you watched the Resistance ones too, or the Star Wars Resistance? Or
I didn't really get into the Resistance, but I did get into Rebels. That was really good.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those.
Pop Culture Geekery says lots of geeky celebrities making themselves more accessible too. Jason David Frank, aka the Green Power Rangers, started an impromptu interview show on his Instagram where he interviews other known actors.
Well, and we all saw the Instagram of Henry Cavill painting his minis for Warhammer.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's really they're really being able to open up and show their geeky side. And
well, we all have all this time now, so it's like I've got to go back to my hobbies. Like I can't do my day job right now, so hobby time.
Exactly. So what else have y'all been doing during this time to connect with your local geeks?
Connect. Well, I hold a YouTube meetup here in San Antonio,
Cool.
but we've actually been using Zoom to actually hold those meetings, and kind of like the first one we had was just kind of one for us to like kind of get together and just have a fellowship and just talk and stuff. Just because it's been a while since we've seen each other in person. So it's nice just to get to see people's faces. I don't know that it's better than seeing somebody in person, but it's better than nothing at all.
Yeah,
we try to post things like you do. We try to post things on Facebook so that people can like interact with them or talk about them or whatever. And then we try to post videos so people can like see what we're doing or interact with us that way.
And then we do TikTok.
We do TikTok. Yeah, we've been doing TikTok. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing Zoom Dungeons and Dragons sessions with my students because I headed the gaming club at my campus, and my DM is an 8th grader, and so this is her last year to DM. So she wanted to do some sessions through Zoom, so we're doing that. But my kids don't play D&D right.
Teachers, the Dungeons Dragons.
Yeah, you were talking about the gatekeepers. They would not be impressed with the games that happen in my Zoom sessions because it's a lot more role play. It's a lot more acting like a crazy person than it is rolling dice. Yeah. But we're having so much fun. Like,
That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. All the geekdom is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an enjoyable, something that you should share. Whether you like Star Trek and think it's crap like me, or I'm joking.
The horror. Oh, I have a good geek story for you since you brought up Star Trek. Okay. So because Monday is May the 4th, and because I am who I am, for my students next week for distance learning, they're getting Star Wars activities. I found some decoder puzzles and some crosswords and stuff that I'm going to give them as just an easy grade. And then I found some reading passages about real planets that are compared to Star Wars planets. And so I told a bunch of teachers I was going to do that. And at the end of the email, just to see if anybody was a geek, I put live long and prosper as my exit for my email. Nobody calls me out. Nobody. So I'm like, are they either super geeky and they don't want to call me out, or did they just not read my email all the way to the end, or are they like not geeks and they don't know that I just totally smashed together 2 fandoms that should not be in the same Reese's peanut butter cup together?
Yeah, that's horrible of you to mix the two.
It was awful. I was like, I have to do this. This is terrible.
So I actually responded to one of the comments on our lightsaber video, the last one that we did, and they're saying, oh, I really want to win this lightsaber. So I respond back, well, may the odds be ever in your favor. And I was like, oh wait, wrong movie. May the force be with you. A little bit of fun.
Just a little bit of fun, please. Make people not quite sure.
My wife is very much Serenity. She's all about the Serenity and the Firefly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's her cup of tea. And as a matter of fact, we've named our van Blue Serenity. So she has all these stickers all over and stuff like that. So she's a huge geek. But she's a Doctor Who and Serenity, Firefly geek, and I'm like, oh okay, I'm not Doctor Who.
But you watch it with her, right? It's not like you stick your nose up at other people's fandoms and say.
But that's okay. We can be. That's you not have to. Yeah. What are you gonna say? Are you gonna say something, Vince? I thought you said something.
No, you cut out a little bit.
Yeah, we were trying to hear you because we lost you.
Okay. I was just saying that, we can be able to enjoy our thing and never have to worry about having our geek card taken away from us. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you didn't watch this, you can't. No, I've got my geek card. I got a tattoo that says geeky on me from the convention, I said, I am forever geeky. and nor should anyone else have their geek card taken from them because they don't eat the same geek stuff that they do. So.
Well, and I personally don't think that if somebody's reaching out to you with their fandom and they really, really love it and they want to share it with you, me personally, I don't think that you should snub that fandom and not even give it a little bit of a try. Now, I am not a fan of miniatures gaming, but people have asked me to play it, and I've played several different iterations of it, and I don't love it.
There's some that I like more than others.
Like it, actually. But if somebody comes and wants to share it with you, I don't think you should be that person. Like, we're all geeks,
yeah,
right?
because when they're trying to do something, like when they're trying to share it, they're passionate about it.
Right.
And you're kind of like killing their passion where you're like, no, I'm not really interested. That's why I'll go, even though I would like, there's some of those games I just don't like, at least I'll try and see and at least feign interest.
Yeah, exactly. At least feign interest in it, and you may find out that you actually do enjoy it.
Exactly.
Because if you went through and just because everybody else doesn't like it, doesn't mean you won't like it. And so you got to give it a try. Especially now is a great time to do it. You've got plenty of time to check into a lot of stuff,
Yeah, just like I thought I was never going to like Settlers of Catan, but I never played it. I was just watching people, and some of the people that do play it, I don't think I'd want to play with them the way they play.
Well, that's a person, not a game.
Yeah, that's a person. But once I actually got into it, and somebody actually forced me into a game, I played it. I really enjoyed Settlers.
Well, and I know a lot of people that are gamers like we are, because we're predominantly, our geekdom is like gaming, right?
Right.
And they snub their nose up at a lot of other fandoms like anime. Like, I know a lot of gamers who are like, ugh, those anime kids. Ugh, I don't want to watch that anime. That anime is terrible. And it gets in your head, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to watch that anime stuff either. It's awful. But when we tried it, I really enjoy some anime. Is there, like, do I love every single anime out there? Obviously not. But having tried it and having some friends have us go to the theater and see some, and having our sons share some with us, I really enjoy some of it.
Yeah, because you can, and here's another thing. I don't necessarily give something one try. I'll give them several tries because maybe you just found something that you're not interested in, but there's a whole gambit of things in that genre that you might like and might love and might come to like keep watching.
That you would enjoy.
Is there any fandom or geekdom hoodie that you've tried that you just absolutely, you've tried it and you're like, it's just not for me?
Usually it's tabletop games. It's usually ones that I've tried a few times, and I don't want to name any by name, but it's just like, I've tried to get through it, and I've tried to let it sink in, and then it's not for me.
Like the Game of Thrones board game.
Yeah, I think there's individual pockets, but like as a fandom as a whole, is there any kind of, like, do you say, oh, well, that's anime, I'm not going to do that, or oh, that's comics, which I know this is a lie because I know you, but oh, I don't read, those are comics. No. Is there any fandom that you just say absolutely no to?
I can't think of anything right offhand that I've said no to. I'm trying to think my brain, because I pretty much cover, and that's kind of why I'm Geeky Hoody. I kind of cover all the bases that I try to little dabble in everything.
Yeah, I like it when you bring up your things on Facebook. So if people don't follow you on Facebook, they can look you up and follow you on Geeky Hoody.
Yeah.
If you have any more room left, you always have so many followers. But and you're always asking questions and trying to get the community involved. Now, I know your questions tend to lean a lot towards tabletop gaming because, like us, that's your big, that's one of your biggest fandoms.
Yeah, that, and then comic books is probably my secondary. Then it's usually cosplay is my kind of cosplay, miniatures, kind of thing. But I would say, if anything, I would probably the least favorite is probably video games. I'm not a big video game guy. I'm not just the controllers. Now, give me Atari 2600. I'm all up on that. Mm-hmm. But the newer video games, not so much. Not so much. I just don't get into them.
Well, and Stuart's sitting over here, and he can only hear parts of the conversation. But I don't think there's any. I've not known you to kind of snub any fandoms either. I know that you watch anime and you play video games.
I hate anime now.
You hate anime now, but not as a genre per se, right?
I'll still watch anime. It's just, again, I've been doing anime conventions for how long now, and I'm burning out on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the convention side.
So, I'll try just about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a different side of the fandom than actually watching like the anime itself. Or sometimes some people rub you the wrong way, but then again, that's people.
Yeah, that's people.
Yeah. You can't put hate on a fandom just because you ran into some jerk, you know, that's gatekeeping or just being a jerk because they're a jerk. That's just
and I promise you, there's jerks in every single fandom out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, that doesn't reflect on the fandom, but as a person, it can have that effect on you, right? When you meet somebody who's a jerk or a gatekeeper, and you're like, oh well, I mean, forget it, never mind. Like, I just won't be part of that. So then it's hard to pull those people back in, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's the main key to bringing people into a fandom is show them that you're different. It's not about how much you can, because I know a lot of times when, like Vince was saying, we get so passionate about our geeky stuff, but introducing them to it by sharing your life with them in the game. So invite them to a game and make sure that you're taking part in them, because a lot of people may not enjoy the game as much as they enjoy you, and making sure you're available for them to take part in. So they may like, the game's okay, but man, I love the party. You know, when you play the games and stuff like that, it's like, the game may not be that great, but man, I've got a great group of people that I get to play with and have fun with. You know,
right, because how many of us have great gaming stories because of the people we were playing with, not necessarily because of the game itself, but because of something really fabulous that happened that we'll like never forget.
Mm-hmm. But usually the games that we play have good game mechanics.
Yeah.
For role playing anyway.
Yeah.
But I think we brought it up the other day, is the word community.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people need to see themselves as part of a community built around these fandoms, because how nice is it to have somebody who, you know, wants to try to use the Force just as much as you do, you know, and goes out into their yard or whatever and tries to lift a rock, you know, or, you know, somebody who can relate to you, you know, you see them walking in and they've got on a red shirt and you're like, oh, man, shouldn't have worn that shirt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a stranger behind me. What do I have? Do I have a guest? Child? I have a guest.
You have a mini guest?
I have a mini guest, my mini geek. Sammy, what are you excited about geeky stuff?
Can I have something to eat?
Okay, go eat something.
I need something to eat, Daddy. I need something to eat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm fanning out about.
Food.
I'm a geek about food.
Yeah, he's a big into Minecraft. He will talk all day long about building stuff in Minecraft. And then my stepdaughter and Tristan, they can all play Minecraft together and build stuff together and have fun together. And so we've got even a little community here of the Minecraft people and stuff like that. So
see, and that's sweet. And then that brings together you know, those different age brackets, and it's just nice to have something like that to share. That's one of the things that I like about fandom, is it's something nice that you can share something
And
fun.
the cool thing about Minecraft is you can introduce people to other genres within Minecraft.
Yes. Yes.
Because you can build things to look like, you know, people have tried to build stuff like to look like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's also Roblox too. I think Tristan's all about Roblox too. They have all the different fandoms, and he's trying out for different. He's all about the World War II historical stuff and things like that, and so he's all about joining those kind of things. And he has people that he.
Yeah, I'm not a big history buff, but I'm always surprised. Like, I'm always willing to sit down and listen to people that are geeks about history, because it's kind of twofold.
Through like Discord and
yeah, and they love those miniatures games where they get to play out those scenarios, but then they also like have this knowledge about everything that happened, and they want to share with you. They're like, this, you know, I know this happened, and you know, so that's interesting that Tristan likes that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, whenever we talk about anything in history, he's like he makes sure that it's connected to World War II. He's like, was that back in 1942? Like, no, man, that's the 70s. We're talking about the 70s here. You know?
You're so old. Everything was from the 40s, Dad.
Exactly, Dad. Exactly.
So do you...
You're older than Google?
You're older than Google? Yeah, way older.
I'm Prodigy. Do you remember Prodigy? I'm
Yes.
Prodigy age.
So you have children like we do, and you've brought them up into the fandoms. How do you introduce fandoms to your kids? Do you let them kind of see something and ask you about it, and you introduce what you like, or how do you go about doing that?
Well, usually I just introduce them. They usually get to see me doing the thing. Like, none of my kids are into comic books. Just now, Chance, my oldest, loves drawing anime, but that didn't come from me. That's more of just something that he got into with his friends. But when I started playing Dungeons and Dragons around the kids, oh man, everybody except for my stepdaughter plays Dungeons and Dragons with us in our family game, and Sammy is obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons, and he's always wanting to make a new character, stuff like that.
Do they, do you find that your kids pick up any kinds of fandoms from school?
And so I am.
Sorry, lost you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yeah, especially the history. I'm sorry. He definitely got it from the school. The history stuff. He is a big history buff.
Mm-hmm.
When our kids were growing up, it was Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic the Gathering. Like, I was surprised how many middle school kids were willing to just have their geeky stuff in their backpacks, and then eventually all over the outside of their backpacks.
And I feel like back in the day when it wasn't like that.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, no, not at all. You would get picked on.
Oh yeah, I got into fights because I was a geek. And matter of fact, my brother one time, I was sorting my comic books on my floor, and he came in and just started stomping on them.
Oh no!
And we had this fight over it. Yeah, I just started stomping all over him and crushing the covers, and yeah, we got into a big physical fight over that. I was like, just because he wanted to pick on a nerd, you know.
Right. That was the thing, that was the thing back then. So that's been something that's nice to see is, as adults, we're cultivating our own children to be geeks, but also that there's just been a shift, I think, because we have technology, because we have this accessibility, because we have this ability to share on YouTube, and there's so many YouTube channels and things of that nature, that it's made it okay. And then, of course, the movies have mainstreamed it and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not as difficult to bring people into the fandom or to find people. It's not like back in the day where you were lucky to find 1 or 2 people around you and you really had to go to a convention pretty much to find somebody who was like-minded. And now it's not like that.
Yeah. And breaking down all those stereotypes that we had back then. It's awesome.
Yeah, so you're saying that when you guys play Dungeons and Dragons, you don't sit in the dark and you have black candles lit or anything like that. It's not. Did we lose him?
I think, yeah, we can't hear. Can you hear us, Hoodie?
Okay. Now I can hear you.
Oh,
what was that?
I said, you said breaking the stereotypes, and I said, oh, so when your family plays D&D, then you don't play, in the dark with some black candles lit?
No, not on Sundays at least.
Not on Sundays.
You sit at a table with Coca-Cola and chips.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no, because the drinks aren't allowed because, you spill it on the table and then you get it all sticky and everything. And you mess it up.
As adults, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't get to have the drinks while we're having the character sheets out.
Yeah, you spill something on the character sheet, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and then that becomes goo that covers the map and everything and your miniatures and stuff, so...
Yeah, you have a sippy cup that you can go over there and drink.
We had a really cool character sheet idea one time for a game where we wanted, depending on what happened in the game, for you to burn your character sheet for a certain amount of time. And so as you burnt it away, you would be able to lose sight of what your skills were and stuff, and you would start to go into madness. But then we thought, man, we'll probably get somebody will burn something, some kid will burn their house down, we'll get sued or whatever. So we took that game mechanic out.
Yeah.
That's a very cool idea, though. You could do a whiteboard, maybe a whiteboard, and start wiping off your abilities as you play, type thing. So
or have to do I know some of the games.
But the cool thing about that was the randomness of it.
Yeah, because you didn't know.
Because you don't know how the fire was going to go to burn it out.
Yeah. Also, what was the...
He lost you again.
The name of the game that you guys have created? What is it? What is it called? I can't think of it right offhand. Where you just had it was just no, the other one where
app?
You were like,
no,
not act. It's Dayfly. That's it. Where it was just one day, you have one day to live, and you get to be this character, and oh my god, I love that. It was just the concept. It was just bam, one day, what are you going to do? You're super. Bam, one day, type thing. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, I guess we'll all have to get together again one of these days and play some games.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, my kids love roaches.
Thank you.
Hey. We play roaches on a regular basis around here, so.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. I still have my clown roach that is in honor of you, so.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, here we go. I think I had this on hand, so.
Nice.
There you go. That's
great.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Hoodie, thanks for talking with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
This went so quick.
But it was great.
But it was great.
Yeah.
We got to talk some more. But thanks for checking us out. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that was Hoodie, and that's Stuart producing over there.
And Geeky's on there too.
Yep.
Geek out SA.
Geek out SA.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Cool. Got it? Cuckoo.